Hi, this is KV, and this is the moon phase report for Gemini for the new moon in Virgo on September 5th, 2013. So yours is very much home related. There's all this activity going on the home related. There's a need to bring more order. There might be too much going on. You might be feeling a little frazzled, really needing to get things in place. And what's cool about this is that there's something also tied into this that is healing based that relates to your career arena. So this can be something parental related. Something even with the father, with the mother, with one of them that was the main responsibility holder. But something with this, even fear of putting yourself out there with your career. It can be something like that where you're having to be really patient with something with your career, and needing to kind of maybe even believe in yourself a little more. And it feels like there's something narrowing down with this. So maybe there's several things and you're needing to be okay, we need to narrow this down. I'm giving too much of myself. I'm spreading myself too thin. I'm feeling throat stuff. So something like that. This is also something that ties into this is that it is... is this healing based? This is something that's it almost feels like it's something value based. So maybe you've been telling a story that this is just how it has to be, and maybe there's even some kind of new paradigm coming into your life so that you can be no, I don't have to do it this way anymore. I don't have to believe that this is the only way to make your career work or get your stuff out there or do what you're here to do. So it can be something like that. Where it's you're kind of really awakening to something that is... I wonder too if it's something you believing in yourself. Maybe you've been taking these other things that are awesome and all, or maybe they're not, but you're still not believing in what you're here to do. So there is something is happening now that is showing you where you haven't been honoring yourself, where you haven't been applying self-love, really valuing who you are, which then keeps you from expressing your creative gifts to the fullest. So you're doing these other things, and maybe you're just kind of awakening to that right now. So it is something that you've not wanted to look at, or you've wanted to deny, or it's something that you thought, whatever, I don't have to deal with this. I can just move through life. It's going to be okay. I can hide this stuff. And it relates to you expressing your creative gifts. So you're not going to be able to do that until you can really see what this is and see where you're just not honoring yourself, or maybe even you're manifesting things that just aren't honoring to who you are. This is something at home. So with the chaos, something around the home is needing total healing too. So it's this is also taking you back. This is taking you way back into your childhood. This is taking you back to violation land, where you've been hurt, where you've been slandered, where you've been disrespected, where you've been abused, where you've been neglected, and definitely neglected. I said that for a reason. And you're going to have the total this, what I've said to people is imagine when you want to get in shape, want to get in shape, but don't have any energy to do it. So then you just feel down on yourself and something's wrong with you, which then keeps you from doing any exercise because you're oh, I hate my body, but then you don't have the energy. But and house cleaning is that way too, you know, where like you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it, and then all of a sudden you so want to do it, and then you're there and your energy is full throttle, let's go. So you're going to be coming into a time like this where, and like right now, you know, where you're like, oh my gosh, I know what I need to change, I know what this is, and you're going to have the full-on like passion, gusto to face it and deal with it. And this also relates to your purpose this time around. So the planetary aspects right now are lining up things that are your wound. They may deal with the parents, with the father. Maybe the father didn't give the love that you needed. Maybe the father wasn't around. And something like this is keeping you from believing in yourself with your career, that it ties in what your gifts are and what you're here to do. And there's also there's a lot of focus on healing right now, like health, healing, diet, things like that that just aren't in alignment with where you want to be taking things. So the work right now is done at home, and the work right now is really facing like what you haven't been seeing, what you need to see, what you need to bring healing to, and what you need to bring order to also. You know, it's like this thing at the home front is too scattered. It's not serving you. It's not honoring you. So you're also going to have the energy to really be talking about this now. So, you know, you've kind of moved into a space with Mars now where you're going to want to talk about it, where you're going to want to share messages, where you're going to want to, I love that, where you're going to want to get this out there. Use your voice. Say what's wrong. Say what's not working. Not be walked all over. You know, not just bury it and deal with it for another day, because that's so self-defeating. It's like we have to confront things as they come up, but yours is very much inner work related. It's very much you needing to see where you're not really honoring yourself and where you're not really loving who you are. And this is going to be a time where you're just going to see it. It's self-worth related, but it's also ties into by healing that, you know. And how is that one? That one is like the self-worth one. I think it kind of starts with kind of speaking up where you have been walked all over. I think it kind of happens of speaking this stuff with your parents and letting them know, you know, how this has hurt you and how you feel like how this went down when you were younger has contributed to this stuff that you've manifested in your life. So I think it's really good to talk about that and share it. Like, that's essential, even if you can join in a group, because a group thing could definitely kind of bring in a new birth for you. Why am I hearing ringing? I got like defragmented. But like joining in a group maybe to help kind of like, that actually I think is a really good idea, where you can like talk about this in group form so that you can see how other people are like this too, because something like that can help free you up to think that it's just me and I'm a loser and I'm not good enough, and because there's something with you realizing how good enough you are. And maybe even starting with the group thing and sharing more, and then, you know, really like pampering yourself more. That self-worth one is hard, but now that our past is leaving us, you don't have to hold on to this. You're choosing to hold on to this, and you're choosing to be a victim. So that's not the easiest thing to always hear, but that's like the truth. We're always like, poor me, this happened and I can't move past it. But just realize all the planets and all the energy is coming together to help you move past this, and really just make peace with it and start fresh, you know. And what's really cool, the work you're doing now, it's going to help you, like if you're doing anything like healing based, like that too. Like, you can't do your healing work until you've healed this stuff in you, you know, because it's like it's never going to work until you have the self-love is tied in with your creative gifts. So you're never going to be able to express them fully and as a fully functional thing unless you can deal with this stuff of seeing yourself as valuable. You know, you really need to get like puffed out and stuff and be like, I'm awesome, you know. And if it takes you talking to the mirror every day and doing this, if it takes you writing out everything and, constantly like filling yourself up. That's where too, like, my birth charts are a really good thing, because they fill you up with how awesome you are. You'll be like, I'm awesome, you know, that's my point. I want to show you how awesome you are, and I can do that in your birth chart. So that could help, something like that. Your birth chart could really help show you what your wounds are, and also help empower you to be like, oh my gosh, I'm not that bad, you know, and whatever. So, but this ties in with your career, or this father thing, or something authority-based. Maybe you've been having problems with authority, and that's going to stem back to something that was childhood-based, because now you're like, don't tell me what to do, and that's probably not the best way to be. That's a wound buried beneath that, that's making you go, don't tell me what to do, you know. So you'll need to do some inner work, healing on that. But what's really cool too is if you really honor this amazing healing space that we've been granted right now with the planetary alignments, if you can just honor this and accept that what is coming up that doesn't feel good just needs to be shifted, it needs to be healed either with just compassionate words, understanding words, because there's also the thing of continuing patterns, continuing patterns, continuing patterns. So really just deciding to break them now and do whatever it takes to just like start over and reboot and clear that foundation, so that you're not carrying this 200 pounds of past experience baggage, because you're just manifesting the same if you're still carrying that. So if you can do that, you know, the next full moon will really help with letting go too. So be gentle on yourself as you do the healing process right now. And know that when the full moon comes, it'll be a lot easier to really like let that go for good. And then you're going to move into that space of being more creative and having more joy in your life. So this is one of the steps that's bringing you to next month, when you can feel a lot better and more in alignment, and like life is okay. So it might be kind of painful right now because we're down in the childhood arena, we're down in the home arena, we're down in the roots arena. I love birds. I always want them to show up for the videos. I'm like, come represent yourself. Or any creatures. I'm like, come in, run through. I want to see like a coyote or a mountain lion go running behind us. And I'd just be like, and anyway, and have no clue till I watched it. Although I never watch these because I don't have time for anything like that. I just record and go. I'm like, I have no idea what I say. I have no idea what happens on these. But anyway, so yeah, so I am confronting my wounds. I am making peace with my wounds. I decide to start over and not carry the weight of my childhood wounds. I do not have to follow in the footsteps of my parents. I do not have to follow in the footsteps of the violation or disrespect that I've seen so far in life. I can start over. I choose to love myself. Therefore, I am surrounded by loving people and supportive people. So I love myself. I love who I am. I accept who I am. I am ready to let go of these wounds that are having me be this person that I'm not really. Did that make sense? I'm ready to start fresh. I'm ready to have healthy relationships. I'm ready to manifest a career that really expresses my creative gifts so that I can do what I love to do. Yeah, okay. So you have a beautiful new moon, and I will see you on the full moon in 2 weeks with the one in Pisces. And we're going to be all focused up there again in the Father with your career, seeing like what is keeping you from being in a career that really lights you up. So that's where we're going to be. And yeah, okay. Have a beautiful new moon.